This episode of Life and Leadership Unplugged with Kelley Cornish was previously recorded in November of 2024. Please enjoy this episode and don't forget to unplug.
It's hard to believe that I've been around for nearly 6 decades. And for over 4 of them, I have been working, I've been leading, and I've been growing. You know, I've learned a thing or two along the way. You want to know one of the biggest lessons I've discovered? After years of climbing the corporate ladder, leading my family, managing teams, and striving for success, I needed a hard reset. So for nearly 40 days, 38 to be exact, I unplugged. I stepped back, I reconnected with my purpose, and I reimagined what life and leadership could actually look like for the remainder of my time as a leader. The time of unplugging sparked this very important conversation, one that I want to have with you. I'm Kelley Cornish, and this is Life and Leadership Unplugged. Let's dive in. In this episode, we will welcome Emmy-nominated journalist Larry Spruill Jr., who shares his journey as a community storyteller and his experience covering monumental events from Detroit's Black Lives Matter protests to COVID-19 pandemic. We will dive into what it means to reset from a career centered in media, maintain healthy routines, and redefine life beyond the news. Larry is a 15-year veteran journalist. He's covered nationally recognized events and has a commitment to excellence. Proud Atlantan and Alpha man, Larry is a graduate of Valdosta State University and a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, and a proud foodie who loves his mother's cooking. Let's welcome to the podcast, Larry Spruill. All right, welcome back to another edition, another episode. We are so looking forward to this conversation with Mr. Larry Spruill Jr.
Yes.
Welcome
Thank
to
you.
Life and Leadership Unplugged.
Thank you. Unplugged.
Unplugged.
And that's the key word.
That's the key word.
Unplugged.
That's the key word. That's what we're trying to get people to lean into, the key word of unplugged. And so, like every other episode, we're going to have a wonderful conversation just about Larry's illustrious career to date and some of the things he's passionate about. And then actually try to pull out of him how he actually unplugs in the midst of all of this great work that he's doing. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You
for
are
having
so
me. Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you.
And so, when I think about when I read your bio and did a little homework on you, I realized that you have covered quite a bit
Yeah.
in your career. And so, from reporting to anchoring to everything that you do in television, and now with the media itself just being a whole different arena. Um, like I say, you've covered everything from civil rights protests to natural disasters. What are some of the biggest challenges you've encountered in navigating some of this work? And, with, like I said, with today's landscape around news and media.
Right now, it's social media. It
Wow.
seems like because everyone has a cell phone. Everyone has. And so
Everybody's a reporter.
everyone's a reporter. Yeah. So it makes my job a little harder because
Mhm.
they're sending out information,
Sure.
so to speak, and people are taking and they're running with it, and it's not accurate all the time.
Mhm.
You get to like a scene. I remember one time I was covering a scene and it was a mass shooting,
Mhm.
and the exact number were 15 people were shot and injured.
Mhm.
But we get to the scene, people say, oh, 30 people were shot. I mean, on social media, on
Oh my
Instagram.
goodness.
And I'm like, where are you getting that information from?
Absolutely.
And so that is the most frustrating thing.
Mhm.
I mean,
Mhm.
social media can be good and bad at
Right.
the same time.
Right.
And so I think that would be the most hardest thing that, as journalists, that's what we're dealing with.
Yeah, so I'm sure it is a disruptor, like you
Yes.
said, in good
Yes.
ways
Indeed.
or bad ways. But
Mhm.
to me, it feels like it really justifies the fact that we need you all, people
Yes.
who fact check and know exactly.
Right.
So be mindful of your source.
Yes.
I say that
Yes.
all the time. And, you've been a voice in the community and you've covered intense stories, like you said, shootings and natural disasters, civil rights protests. How do you reset and recharge? Because the work that you do is not just physically, it's mentally and emotionally draining
Yeah.
on a community, on you, I'm sure on the team that you work with some of the things that you see. So how do you
So
how do
when
you
I
balance
first started, I made a promise to myself to never take my work home
that?
with me. And the first couple of years, it was easy. I was like, I can shut off and do, but as I'm covering like the protests, the George Floyd protest, that was the most difficult for me because it was someone who looked like me and you, who was the center of that, and so I had a hard time shutting off and relaxing as I got home. But one thing that I do is that it's not my friends and family members. They don't agree, but I keep my phone on do not disturb.
I love it. That's one of my practices. Yes.
They and
Yes.
I have my favorites and people that get on to me, but it's for my mental health
It is.
and it's for my peace. And so that's the main thing I do is I keep my phone on do not disturb.
Mhm.
And when I feel like my mind is constantly racing, I just pray.
Yes.
I said, God, I said, there's a lot going on with me. I said, can you just give me some rest?
Mhm.
And that works.
It works.
It's simple, but it works.
It is. You have to ask. You have to ask.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. I know just in the day to day, I was talking with someone earlier about just starting your day, and you have to kind of reset at the beginning of your day because, especially with your line of work, you have no idea
No,
what's going to happen
you
on
don't.
any given day,
Never.
right? And so, having that time to just pause and to just reflect and to pray and ask for wisdom and strength to
Yeah.
do all the things that
Yeah.
you have to do that's in front of you. So, you know, reporting can be all consuming.
Yes.
It just can be, I can't even imagine, and you've been doing it for 15 years, like I
Yes.
can't even imagine. How do you find balance in your life outside of work? And what routines help you stay grounded? So you've got the
Um,
balance, you've got different routines,
yes.
like
I
how does
work
that work?
out a lot.
Okay, that's
I,
good.
I release stress that way. I try to go to the gym. If I'm working, I work a night shift. I go before I go to work.
Mhm.
But if I'm off, that's something that I have to do. I
Okay.
have to go to the gym in order for me to remain balanced and just to kind of spend some time with myself.
Yeah.
I start my day off with meditation. I pray. I read my word. That's
Everything.
whew,
That's
that's
everything, right?
everything.
That's
That's
everything.
everything.
It
I mean,
is.
and
It
I
is.
am so those two things are two big factors that I do. Like I said, I limit my communication, because some people just call you just to call you for
Just for
nothing,
nothing.
for
For
nothing.
nothing.
And I'm like,
For
what do you
nothing.
want? Not to be
Right.
rude, but like, what
Yeah.
do you want?
Yeah. You like get to it,
Yeah,
right?
get to it, and
Right.
they never
You
get
gotta get
to it.
to
And
it.
so you have to limit your
You
communication
do. You have to
just to
guard
protect.
it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
You
You have to
have to
guard it.
guard it.
Yeah.
I'm about to take off and
Right.
run.
Right.
But you have to guard your peace,
You do.
and
You
guard
really do.
your mental. And so those are three big things that I do.
Mhm. It's been interesting. In June, I made a conscious decision in June of this year, 2024, I made a conscious decision to stop watching television indefinitely.
Yes.
Now, for
Wow.
someone like you, like
It's a little hard
it's
to
a little
do.
hard to do. It's a little hard to do. However, that was something that I knew I could control because there was so many other things happening in my life. And in that time that I would have turned on the television, I stopped to meditate. I stopped to cook a good meal. I stopped to have a conversation with someone I wanted to talk to. Like I had to be very purposeful about how I used that time. And it really helped. So that was one of my routines. And I still haven't gone back. All my friends like, gone back to watch television. I was like, not yet. I'm not sure when I'm
So
gonna
what
go
made you
back.
do that?
So
Because I didn't mean to ask the
no, no,
questions,
you
man.
asked the question. No,
It's so
no.
hard.
It's hard. I it was my way. I was going through a season of some change in my life, and I knew I needed to give up something to get
Wow.
something
Wow.
back. And I used to that was at but prior to that, I used to binge. I mean, I used to binge for hours because that's how I would shut my mind
Yeah.
down after work,
Yeah.
right? I could just go sit. I was like, it thinks for me. I don't have to think. They have their own situations going on television. So it's like, and my problems are not really that
Right.
bad. And so, but I said in the evenings, rather than that being my go-to, I'm just gonna open that
Mhm.
up and be free to see what will come in.
That's funny you say that because when I get off work at the end of the day, I watch Martin.
I
I'm a
love
huge
it.
Martin
What's that?
person, and I did that this week. Wednesday post the election, I was like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna just watch Martin all day. and that's like a comfort soup for
Yes,
me.
almost like comfort food for
Yeah, so
television.
I like how you say you limit your distraction, and I respect that. So I'm like
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I can do that,
Yeah.
but I respect that. So thank
Well,
you for
thank
sharing
you. Absolutely.
that.
That's one of my practices. And so from workouts to meals, you talk
Yes.
about workouts, healthy routines are essential. What habits have you developed that keep you centered, both personally and professionally? And it's really about that centering so
Yes.
you can go back to do what you've been called to do.
Yes. I journal a lot, and I started
This
doing
is
that.
my friend.
I
This is
started
my
doing that
friend.
recently, and at first it was weird. I'm like, I'm writing to myself,
Mhm.
but it helps me express how I'm feeling that day and what I went through. And so at the end of the day, before I watch Martin, I just journal. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, and it helps me. That and a lot of black men don't say it, but crying.
Yes,
Crying
the
helps.
emotional
Yes,
listen, nothing
it
like a good
helps.
cry.
A
Remember when
good
you were
cry, a little
little, you go
ugly
right to
cry,
sleep. You go right to
it
sleep.
helps. It helps. It
It
helps to release,
does.
and
Yeah.
I tell all my friends like I'm big on mental health,
That's good.
and I say journaling, and I said "Just cry. It's okay to
It's okay.
cry.
It's
It's
okay.
okay.
It's a release.
Yeah, it's a
It is definitely a
release. Yeah.
release. It's a release. And so, so June I stopped television. July I took some time off and I went to sit in front of some water. I was again dealing with some things, and the beach is my go-to
Yes.
place. I love it. And but every day I would journal. I was gone for 37 days, and I journaled every day, 2 or 3 times a day, and
Wait,
just
37
about
days of vacation?
it wasn't
Oh, I'm about
vacation.
to say I
It
need
was
I
a
need your job.
it was a reset.
Reset,
It was a
reset. I
reset.
like that.
It was a reset, and literally the role that I have on a day-to-day, I had to decide, and it's because I work for a phenomenal
Right.
leader, and he knew I needed some time to just pull back for a
Mhm.
minute. So for me, pulling back was not being on a plane, not being on Zoom calls, not managing
Right.
teams, not being in meetings all the
Just
time.
doing you.
It was doing
Wow.
me, staying connected to my board of directors, staying connected to my leader, but not the day-to-day grind that I was in.
Wow.
And I used that time to just think about, as I say, what I was thinking
Mhm.
about.
Wow.
And so in that, I journaled and I journaled. And when I returned back to my day to day, a friend asked me, "How do you feel?" And how do you feel?" I said, "I literally feel like I died for 37 days, but I died to an agenda.
Wow.
I died to
Yeah.
expectations.
Mhm.
I died to being on.
Right.
I died to answering the phone. I died to like all of those
Yeah.
things." And so, which led me to this podcast. And I started talking to people, and similar to you, like, how did you do it? How'd you do it? And sometimes it's not taking a massive 37 days, but it is carving out time.
Yes.
You say, like, for a week, I'm just not going to travel.
Mhm.
Like, can I just like not travel
Right.
so I can actually sit home and eat a decent meal and not have to eat at the airport?
Right.
Like, it's just
Right. Yeah.
those little
Those little
things. It's
things.
those
Right.
little things I
Mhm.
think that give us the longevity to do what we've been called to do. And so, and I could go on and on
No,
and
that's
on, but
interesting. You said that, and I'm piggybacking off you. You
yeah.
get it, but no. One thing that I did recently, earlier this week, for a whole day, I didn't answer my phone. I mean, I
Mm,
text my parents like, "Hey, I'm okay,"
right, I'm good.
but I didn't answer the phone. I wasn't on social media,
Mhm.
and I felt at the end of the day, I felt so strong. And I didn't know, like, how much because when you have a busy career like yourself and
Yeah,
you get pulled in so many different
so many
directions, and you
ways.
never have time for yourself, and I strongly tell people, "Take time for yourself."
Take
So I
time for
commend you
yourself.
for that.
Well, thank you. It was necessary,
Mhm.
and I was at a point where if I didn't do it then, I would need more time later,
Yeah,
you know? And I wouldn't have been able to manage that time.
yeah,
Like, it would have managed me,
exactly.
So I said,
Like, God gonna sit you
he
down
going one
whether
way or the other.
voluntarily or
That's right. That's
involuntarily,
right. So
yes.
listen,
You listen.
listen, listen. And so, and so as we reflect on your career, which stories and moments are you most proud of?
Oh, man.
With the work, and how's it shaped your approach to being
Yes.
a journalist?
A lot of people say, "Oh, you won an Emmy?" Yes, that is good,
Mhm.
because it rewards you for your work. But that's not why I do this, and it
Mhm.
doesn't. When people say, "What's your biggest accomplishment?" Yes, that's nice,
It's
but
very
it's not
nice.
my biggest accomplishment was I remember I was working in Detroit, and it was when the coronavirus first started.
Oh, wow.
And so Detroit got hit very, very bad. Like, our African American community got hit very bad. And I was interviewing a friend of mine. He just lost his mother to the virus, and I was just talking. I was just listening. I didn't ask him any question. I was just listening and just allow him to pour out himself. And at the end of the interview, he gave me this big old hug, and he was like, "Just thank you for being there."
Wow.
And that's why I do what I do. I tell the stories for those who can't speak for themselves, and just being there.
Just
And when some people can just give you a hug,
right. You've made a difference.
you made a difference.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And you're right. And you are a voice for so many, but then you also give a voice.
Yeah.
You gave him space to
Yeah.
voice.
Yeah.
And that's therapy within itself.
Yes.
So wow, wow. Wow. So we've talked about so much, and you've done so much in 15 years, and it's so much more to come. But as you think about what's next for you, are there any projects or new directions that you're particularly excited
You
about?
know what? I'm praying on that as we speak.
Cool. Wow.
As we speak. That's funny you said that. I feel God is shifting me.
Wow.
I don't have a direct role yet, but I know it's in communications, but I feel that he wants me to do more
Wow.
and on a bigger scale. And that's what I'm getting. And so I'm praying. I am scared. I am
Of course.
nervous.
Of course.
But I feel as long as I'm under God's umbrella of protection, as my dad say, I'm gonna be okay.
You
And
are
I
gonna
get
be okay.
emotional because
I know. I know.
um,
I know.
excuse me.
Wow.
Didn't
That's
expect
with
this
a
to
question. That's
happen.
okay. That's good. That's
I
good.
get emotional because I feel like God is going to do his thing.
Mhm.
And just the fact that I am a vessel,
Yes.
that he's using me.
For me.
It's
It's okay.
He's using me when I don't think I'm anybody, I'm
Wow.
just
Well, that's who he uses.
yeah.
Yes, that's who he uses. And so on that,
Oh, Jesus.
I know, no, that's okay. That's okay.
Excuse
So on
me.
that, no, this is perfect because now I get to tell you about what my hope for you is.
Okay.
My hope for you, Larry, is that you continue to stay focused, stay open, stay pliable, stay fluid. And by doing that, you will stay in the center of his will. And in that place, that's where you're going to find what's next for you. And I see it. I see what you've done. I see the life you live. I see the heart you have. And he's going to use it. He's going to use it. So I would say, as someone we all know and heard, get ready, get ready, get ready.
Yes.
Because listen, it's on the way and you are in position to be used. And it's great that you're scared. It's great that you don't know because then whatever comes, then you're like, all right, that's
Right.
what that was for.
Right.
And I'm ready. So my hope for you is that you just stay inspired and just stay a little, a little scared.
Yes.
That's good. That means that your faith is increasing and that God sees you and, as we decrease, he increases in us. And so just continue to do all those things. I didn't know it's going to turn into all this,
Right.
but
You done
listen,
got me
we have
crying.
to speak it. We have to speak it. We have to speak it. But
Come
that's part of the
on.
unplugging and the
Yes.
resetting,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
You have to reset and unplug so you can hear and stay in tune with where you're being taken and how you're going to move. So that's my hope for you is that you just continue to lean into it
you.
because it's going to be big.
Ah.
Listen, and
Ah.
I can't wait. I'm going to be following you. You're going to be back.
Thank you. Thank you. My hope for you, if I can share, is that you'll continue to listen to you and you continue to take time for yourself.
Yes.
Because by you doing that, you are leading by example to the people that work under you and just people who follow you. I believe this podcast is going to take off. I believe it's going to be beneficial. I believe people are going to not only listen, people are going to learn and gain.
Okay.
And at the
Yes,
end of
yes,
the
yes,
day,
yes.
God be the glory.
To God be the glory. That's right, because it's His anyway.
It's His
So
anyway.
that's
And
right.
He's using both of
Larry.
us.
Oh my gosh, He is. Larry, this has been amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
so,
This is my
so
first
much.
podcast.
Is it your first?
It's my first
Listen,
podcast.
oh my
Yes.
goodness, I think you've been doing this forever.
No, it's my first one.
Well, this is
My
going.
first one.
I am honored.
Thank you.
I am honored, and I look forward to us doing some more things
Yes,
together.
please, please.
And we're
I
going to
am
make it
willing.
happen.
Thank you so
That sounds
much.
wonderful.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Now it's time for the keepsake from Kelley as we conclude this podcast with Larry Spruill. In his inspiring conversation, Larry reveals that you have to take a step back from the high-stakes world of media while staying true to your passion in storytelling. He is passionate, he tells amazing stories while he works on very high-stake stories, from natural disasters to civil rights protests to anything that happens in the local communities and around the country. His commitment to excellence and self-care serves as a reminder to find balance and purpose in every role. Every role that you have, you should be able to unplug. So he shared all of the ways that he did for working out, to really using that D&D little piece on your phone, do not disturb, and just shutting that off. Just things that in your day-to-day you really wouldn't think about doing, but can make a world of difference. So whether you're in media or not, Larry's journey just really reminds us to honor both our work and our well-being. Until next time, this is Kelley's Keepsake.
You have just listened to an episode of Life in Leadership Unplugged with Kelley Cornish, the president and CEO of the T.D. Jakes Foundation, the organization that envisions a world where every community thrives.